Hey guys, my hair's wet today because it's a crazy day for work, and when I'm stressed, I take extra showers. So I figured I was going to talk about stress and stress management and how I approach it with 2 jobs, 3 kids, a global pandemic. So my kids are always home asking for Daniel Tiger and mac and cheese and snacks. So, figured today would be all about stress management and tips that you can actually use that aren't just like go for a walk. I figured I'd actually tell you what I do that works. So, we all know stress is bad for you. Increased cortisol levels can affect your sleep, your mood, give you anxiety, and can lead to depression. And so, if your body's constantly in this like fight or flight mode, you never actually come down from that. And so there are some tactical ways to bring your body down into more of a calm state. The first one is a mental one. So in therapy, I learned this 10-10-10 framing, which is really helpful. If you have a problem in front of you that's causing you stress, it's important to say, will this thing matter in 10 minutes, 10 days, or 10 months? Most of the time when you realize if that thing will matter in 10 minutes or 10 days, it usually doesn't. It kind of helps take the pressure off of it. Sometimes things that are in front of us feel bigger than they actually are in the grand scheme of our life. I honestly used that a lot after my divorce. I was under so much stress just because of the life change that when something small changed in my day, I would feel it add extra stress. And I realized that little thing, like when I parsed it away from the bigger life thing that was happening, that little thing actually wouldn't matter in 10 days. So it helped me rethink this. Number 2, which we live in a digital world. And if you're anything like me and you have 3 to 6 Slack channels going at once, 3 emails, Twitter DMs, Instagram DMs, LinkedIn for me is a dumpster fire. So when I'm feeling stressed, I actually have to walk away from technology because all those beeps add to my breathing and add to my anxiety. So I walk away from technology. Sometimes it's for 10 minutes, sometimes for an hour. I use that as thinking time and I just step away. I close it. It's kind of like very, very powerful to be like, this thing in front of me is causing me a lot of stress. And so I have the power to stop that. So walk away from technology if you're feeling a little stressed. The next one leads me to my crazy wet hair and my roots are showing, but water therapy. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that I talk about my commute baths, but basically when I was in New York City, I would use that commute time to switch from kind of that like intense work mode to mom mode. And I found that in the pandemic or working from home, that's the hardest thing for me. I cannot switch from like assertive, like thinking mode and like trying to be in charge to like loving and warm and playing and getting on the floor and laughing. Like that's a hard switch for me. I don't know about anybody else, but I have found commute baths to be my saving grace. So what is a commute bath, right? It is when I'm done with work, well, done for the day. So say my babysitter is leaving at 5. At 4:40, I get in the bathtub. Yes, I take a bath at like 4:40 p.m., but it allows me to kind of make that transition. And I have found it has made me jump into mom mode better during the pandemic. But I also take showers and baths whenever I'm stressed. And so there are days that I will take like 3 baths or 3 showers. I don't care. Getting in water helps me to just bring everything down and I can think again more clearly. And so if I'm stressed, I get in the water. So I was stressed before this and I didn't have time to dry my hair because I have a meeting in a little bit. So I have wet hair, but I thought it was pertinent to the story. Number 4 is what I'm spending most of my time when I'm not working with Teal. I'm building House of Wise to help women take control of their stress. So I take CBD. Like I have stopped drinking alcohol for the most part unless it's recreational. I don't just drink a glass of wine at night because that immensely affects my sleep. So I take a sleep gummy. Our sleep gummies have L-theanine in them, which help to promote an extra sense of focus. So I take CBD. That never gets old. It's so good. While I'm chewing, if anything that I've said you like, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to get your hands on these, we went live last week or a few weeks ago. So Find us on Instagram and buy from a wise woman, and you can get some stress gummies. Next, I focus on my environment. When my house is a mess or my lighting is bad, I don't know why, but that affects me. And so I will block off an hour if I realize that I'm feeling extra stress to pick up. Or I will, if it's really bad, like really bad. I have hired a TaskRabbit for 2 hours to organize toys. I don't know why I did quotes, but like organize the toys that are everywhere that my kids have just thrown LOL dolls without bodies all over. I will focus on making sure my environment is conducive to a very calm day. The last two are ones that you've probably heard before, but I'm going to give you my spin on them. So deep breaths, breathing is an important part of stress relief. Taking a deep breath, controlling your breathing, because when you're stressed, you take very shallow breaths. You don't even take a full breath. And so I do the straw technique where you take a deep breath, and I breathe through a straw. I was a flute player, so I don't know if that makes sense to anybody else, but that's what I do to kind of control my breathing, and I'll do that like 5 times when I'm really feeling worked up. And the last one is what you've probably heard before, which is move. Getting out of your chair that you've been sitting in probably since 8 that morning working, or your bed or your couch, because we're all working from home, and just figuring out how to move your body. There are days where movement to me is like a run or kettlebells or something that's like really like I feel like I'm getting my power out. Then there are some days where I light a candle and I just stretch. Like whatever that means, whatever my body is feeling, I will just stretch. And then there are days that I will literally put on music and have a full-on dance party in my bedroom. That's something I've done since I was a little kid, actually. But yeah, I'll have a dance party by myself. No shame. So those are my tips for stress management. We all have it. We have to learn how to deal with it. Therapy has also been an incredible way for me to vent. I've learned that I'm a venter, and not everybody is, but if you're a venter like me, usually putting that on our people, like a significant other or those closest to us, is not always the healthiest because your partner is not meant to be your therapist. And so finding someone who's an independent third party who you can let all that out to is very helpful. So hopefully you got something out of this. I'm gonna go dry my hair now before my next meeting, but thank you guys for joining. Like and subscribe, share this with a friend, and then check out House of Wise if you're in need of some stress gummies. Talk to you guys soon.